This is the Jumper T8SG Lite, which is their cheapest and smallest radio. First we'll do a quick unboxing. It doesn't come with a case like their previous models, so what you see here is all you get. It's just the radio, a USB cable, and a lanyard. So let's take a look at the radio itself. So the build quality is on par with their previous radio. I also have the T8SG Plus, and it seems to be using the same exact plastic, both front and back. But the display has a little bit of a scratch on it, so that's not very good. And on the back, there's a battery door. There's no module support, and it requires 4 AA batteries. So here it is next to the T8SG Plus, which is their high-end model. It's a true multi-protocol radio. It has Hall sensor gimbals and an OLED screen, compared to the T8SG Lite, which does not have Hall sensor gimbals and only has a small LCD screen. The gimbals are a bit different. They feel a little spongy. The springs aren't very strong, and you can't replace the stick ends. They seem to be stuck on there. This is probably best suited for thumbers, but you can pinch them. They are pretty short gimbals, so your mileage may vary. To insert the batteries, you just slide up on the door and lift it away. You won't be able to get any LiPos in here because this is really not designed for anything other than AA batteries. It uses the deviation firmware, which is common among all the jumper radios, except the T12, which uses OpenTX. So it looks like somebody's been playing around with this thing. I've got Flying Wing DA, X68, and Flying Wing without DA. So I was going to bind this to my little DSMX Whoop, but turns out this only supports FrSky and Futaba. I was under the impression it was a true multi-protocol radio, but it's got a dumbed down version. And if you do want to get true multi-protocol support, you need to remove the included module and solder in a real multi-protocol module. There are guides available that do this, but I'm not sure if it's worth the cost, really. Well, let's do a teardown. There are 6 screws in the back and 2 little tabs on top. All you have to do to remove the tabs is to pop them up with a real thin screwdriver. Inside, the antenna is connected to the module by a little UFL connector. And the battery bay is connected to the main board by a balance connector. So probably first thing you want to do is disconnect the battery bay. So the antenna is designed to slide out through the case, but it won't slide back down. So you have to disconnect the UFL connector. First thing you'll need to do is remove the zip tie and just pop it off the module. So inside, everything's connected by ribbon cables. It's a pretty clean and pretty simple little design. You can see the module raised above the main board down there. And it has a pin connector to it, so I guess the idea is to upgrade it in the future. So I was really curious about these gimbals, and I thought I'd remove one just to see what it looks like. There are 4 screws holding it in place, plus a little ribbon cable. To release the ribbon cable, you just have to pry up on the black bar. And here's the gimbal. It seems to use potentiometers, and I can't really get to the springs to see how it works, but it seems fairly solid. It's not as cheap as I thought it would be. There doesn't appear to be any way to take it apart or adjust spring tension or anything like that. And here's the antenna. It just slides right out. It's got a little UFL connector. So the radio went together pretty well. It was a pretty straightforward process. Here I got it next to the FR Sky X Lite, just so you can give it a little size comparison. It's not as wide and a little bit taller. Maybe not quite as thick, but it's on par for the size. If you're looking for a small radio, this is small, and it supports FR Sky. So it's not very fair to compare this to the FR Sky X Lite because this is probably about a third of the price. But I just want to give a little bit of a size comparison here. If you're in the market for a $40 radio, then this is something to consider. The only other radio in this price range is the FlySky i6, which is a different protocol. This doesn't support FlySky, but FlySky doesn't support FR Sky. Since FR Sky is the more popular protocol now, this could be worth considering, but I'm not too sure about the gimbals. So I haven't had a chance to fly anything with this yet, but I thought I'd at least put this video out to offer a first impression and a little teardown. I'm not sure I would recommend it, but we'll see. I'll try to post a review later.